Thank you all for coming on behalf of the family. My name is Dave Anderson, and I'm a neighbor of John's. I live just down the river from him, maybe a mile away through the woods. And the family asked me to do this, Joel. And tell you what, Joel's got a bunch of things to say. I'm going to call him up, and then after he's done, we'll fill in. So, thank you all for coming.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm Joel Mitchell Rinne. We are recording this funeral so people in the country of Finland, we have family in Finland and other people in Oregon and California and abroad. I'm going to speak about my relationship with my father and what we did. I was a lifelong employee of my father's. I logged for him. We ran a tree farm. My father planted approximately 2 million trees on his properties, not by himself. He had helpers. His favorite tree was the white pine tree. He did everything that he could to preserve his white pines, and hopefully they will be around for all of us to enjoy for eons, we hope. If I take stops and pauses thinking about it, I'm just winging this. My father was a contract mail route driver. His father passed away on him when he was 17, so he started driving the mail route when he was 18 years old, and he had driven the mail routes from all the way from Duluth, Minnesota, all the way up to the border and all the way to the end of the Gunflint Trail and all the way out to Ely and back. So he knew everybody on those mail routes personally. Growing up with him, he was an avid hunter, outdoorsman. He loved to snowmobile. I got my love of snowmobiling from my father. He had like 5 snow machines. He loved to snowmobile on the river. He always liked to tell people that when he snowmobiled on the river that he had snowmobiled all the way from Island Lake all the way up to the Cloquet Lake on a snowmobile on the ice. To do that is an amazing feat, especially when I do it. It's hard to do. I'll think where I want to go next. He truck drived for the Hewlin Brothers Construction Company. He started work there in 1969. He was a Teamster from 1969 till he retired. He worked with many different companies over the years as a Teamster. He was a Mason since 1977. Our honorary pallbearers are going to be the Masons. Masons are here representing him. He was a Two Harbors Legionnaire since he was out of the Guards. He's got a lot of memberships. He was a Minnesota Forestry Association member for many, many years. I see a few MFA members here. In the last summer that I was working with him, we mowed a lot of our neighbors' yards, and we spent a lot of time cleaning up all of his trails because he was really looking forward to grouse hunting and getting his deer this year. He was really looking forward to doing some deer hunting, and I was looking forward to doing it with him, but we didn't get to do that. I also want to thank the Brimson first responders for responding within 7 minutes. that was very kind of them. I want to thank the St. Louis County Sheriff's Department Deputy Ekstrom for being courteous and polite. It was very nice that the assistance was there for me that quick. I want to thank the Two Harbors ambulance for assisting us in this situation. I guess that's about all I can say. Dave is going to help me with fill in the pieces of the puzzle. Thank you guys for showing up.
I've known John since high school. He was a couple of years older than me, and his wife Joyce also was a couple of years older than me. And I dated a gal who became my first wife, was Gloria Anderson. She was Gloria Lynch at the time, and she worked at the bank, Commercial State Bank, down on First Street down here, First Avenue. And she worked with Joyce, who at the time was Joyce Beck. And one time I picked her up after work and she said, "You'll never believe it." I said, "What?" She said, "Joyce is getting married." I said, I didn't even know she dated anybody. She said, "Yes, she's dating John Rainey, and she's getting married to John Rainey." And I said, "Wow." So I've been around quite a while with John. I knew some of his stories all the way through. When I first bought my place up in Brimson, I'm from Knife River originally, but I bought a place up in Brimson, not far from him. And when he was, at that time, he was doing the mail route. This was in the late 70s. And he would stop by, if he knew you, he would either come back after the route and have coffee. If he caught you at the mailbox, we'd visit and talk. One day he's down at the mailbox and he said, Reserve Mining has gone under, which is in Silver Bay and became the new company with whatever's there now. And so he said they're gone bankrupt. They're filing for Chapter 11 and all this stuff. They're bought up by somebody who cut them up. And I said, "Well, I suppose it's time to sell your stock, if you have stock." And he said, No. He said, "This is the time to buy it." And I said, "You're kidding me." "No," he said, "no." He said, "This thing's falling apart." He said, "Buy it now because they'll put it back together and it'll go up." So a week later, I was working for a guy in Minneapolis. I was working for the Teamsters Union. I was a union rep. And my boss, who liked to dabble in the stock market, all his savings he had moving around, and he was always talking about the stock market. So we're at lunch one day, and he brings up the stock market, and I said, "The Reserve Mining has gone under." "Yeah," he said, "Wow, I bet you that cost people a bundle." And I told him what John had said, he should buy the stock. He said, "Where did you come up with that?" Because he fancied himself as an expert. And I said, "Well, the mailman in Brimson told me." And he goes, "Geez." So what happens is, it's like he's putting this down. 2 months later, that stock goes right through the roof. And in conversations after that, I could hear him, "The goddamn mailman in Brimson," That went on for like 6 months. Every time I heard that, I think of John and get a kick out of it. He told me he had 900 acres. He kept buying land. If he was alive today, he'd probably be looking to see if there's anything available. Bought it at the right price and invested in it and replanted it to the white pine and the other things he did. He also was smart enough to put it into agriculture. So it's zoned as like farming, which drops the tax levy on the thing instead of recreational land way down. So you didn't have to pay that much for taxes in it. It's a tree farm. That, and he would lease out 40 acres for hunting if you wanted to hunt, and the price of hunting on that 40 was the taxes for the year on it. So I figured out a way to level everything out on it. An intelligent guy. He came up with all kinds of things. He told me about his National Guard tour that I think he told me it was in Alaska. We did his first 6 months of duty, and he had all the stories on Alaska. I'm looking at my notes here. I took some notes on stuff. Problem is, I can't read my own writing. Anyway, he had 3 children, of course, and you saw that in the handout that came out. I know both Jack and Joel, have known them for years since they were little kids, and I never met JC. She's probably here, and I don't know her. Are you JC? Well, now that I look at you, I can see that you're one of them. You're one of the crowd. They all got the same face. I thought that John did a hell of a thing. He taught these kids how to live by themselves. They live off the land. Every one of them, well, I don't know about you because I don't know you, but the 2 boys can fix anything, can work on anything, can know hydraulics, they know engines, they can run backhoes, they can run loaders, they can run skidders, everything. And I think they were doing that from the time they were this high. So, but what that did is it gave them a way to make a living the rest of their lives. So it was a big contribution. He was well known in Brimson. Everybody knew him. He was, to be kind, he said he was thrifty. So, and really, all in all, I don't know that he ever hurt anybody. He was a pretty good guy. On behalf of the family, I want to thank you all for coming again. And there is a lunch following at the American Legion. A luncheon put on by them down there, and you're all invited down for that. I don't have anything else. Would anybody like to get up and talk? Anybody with anything to say? Pretty quiet. I don't see any hands going up out there. Well, this is a short service. Thank you for coming on behalf of the family.
Like to say something?
If you get something?
Yeah, I was just talking to some people back here, talking about the fact that my wife Naomi and I had many good memories with John and Joyce and John and Donna. John and Joyce would come down to Pequon and visit us, and I confess once in a while maybe we sat in Hulu's bar a little bit late, and other good times like that. And then in recent years, John and Donna would come over and see us at Fall Lake, where we were campground hosts, and then later at Fort Wilkins Historic State Park in Copper Harbor, Michigan, they would come and visit us. So lots of good times, lots of good memories is about the main thing that I would say. Thank you.
He loved to visit. He would, I would put the coffee pot on as soon as I saw him coming. Or if it was the afternoon, I'd get beer out of the fridge for him. So. Does anybody else got anything? Don't be shy, we're all here for John. Nothing else? I guess that's it. Thank you. Thank you again for coming.
I want to say thank you too.
Lunch at the Legion.